Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Yes,
start
sir.
कर दो.
Okay. So
Yes.
I think in the last class we have started Riemann integration. Okay, Riemann integration by partitioning a closed interval. Okay, so before going forward, we'll discuss about some indefinite integral. Okay, you all of know integration, how to find integration of indefinite integration in 12th
Yes.
standard. Okay, so because time is so short, okay, so I will give you some notes on indefinite integral, and you just try to solve this the examples, okay, which are your 12th standard base. And uh, I will discuss about the definite integral. Okay, and you have also know how to find definite integral. Okay, and then I will discuss improper integral. Okay, do you know what is improper integral?
No,
Have
sir.
you ever heard about
No.
improper integral?
No, sir.
This is a new this is a new type of integration. Okay, so improper integration. So before that we will discuss about definite integral. Okay, definite integration some kind. Okay, and different integration with respect to some function. Okay, so now we'll uh, share a screen. Okay, so in writing there are so much time and you don't have so much time, so I will just share the screen. Okay, you just try to understand. Okay, so I think up to 10th there will be
Okay.
classes. Okay, then your examinations will be from 20th to 20th March. Okay, so before that I will try to finish not able to finish, but try to cover more than 50% or more than 70% of your course. Okay, so do you know how many marks will be in your examination?
Sir, 100 marks.
100. Okay. I think 20 will be for your internal, and 80 will be written. Okay. So, so today we'll discuss about that definite integral. Okay. Just try to see the screen. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Okay. So So today we'll discuss about definite integral. Okay. Uh, the concept of definite integral, you know how to find definite integral when you have given range of the integration. Okay, integral a to b of the function. Okay, from a to b, then that type of integration is called your definite integration. Okay, look, when you have given a function fx, okay, and bounded from x-axis x equal to a and x equal to b, then this integral is called definite integral. And if you partition the interval AB like this, okay, and each subinterval A to x1 and x1 x2 then xn minus 1 to b, we choose some numbers, some points, xi1 xi2 and then xn, then we can sum up these all, okay, like this, from f of xi r into x r minus x r minus 1. These are the distance of the interval, okay, distance between the interval. And f of xi r is basically look at the graph. What is the integration gives? Integration gives area under the curve, and this area can be uh, whole area can be given by sum of all the small areas, okay. So this area is given by the sum of this symbol called summation, okay. This is denotes summation. So summation f of xi r xr minus xr minus 1, these are the length of the intervals, okay. And geometrically, this sum represents the total area of all rectangles in the given figure. In this figure, all these rectangles are given, and the total area of the given rectangles is this sum. Okay. So mathematically, when this length is becomes zero, okay. If this length becomes zero, then the sum is tends to a limit which does not depend on the mode of the subdivision. That means the subinterval are overlapping. Okay. So in this case, this can be written as integral a to b fx dx. Okay. So when n tending to zero, that means when your uh, uh, these rectangles divided in a small, very small part, that means when this n tending to zero, this is xi1 xi2 xin, and this when this n tending to infinity, that means you have divided this one in very small pieces, okay. Then this becomes the integral a to b fx dx, okay. This one is your integration, and this integration is called definite integration, and ab is called the range of the integration, okay. And also you called a the lower limit of integration and b the upper limit of the integration. Now we'll discuss about some special cases, okay. And y equal to fx is a function and which is bounded in this interval, okay. And divide this all intervals in a subintervals in a equidistant point. Well, let's a plus h, a plus 2h, then a plus n minus 1h, and then a plus nh is equal to b. These are the subintervals of the interval ab. Then let the number of subdivision n increases, and consequently the length of each subinterval.
सर
Yes.
सर इक्विडिस्टेंट वाला समझ में नहीं आया सर, एक बार समझा दिया डिवाइड।
Equidistant means this is uh, when this interval is divided, okay, subdivided in a in number of subintervals, length of every you have taken, length of every subinterval is what? When a and a plus h, then what is the difference between these two? H.
एच।
Okay. And
Yes,
if you
sir.
take difference between these two, then also h.
एच।
Okay. You have
Yes, sir.
taken h as the length of the interval. Okay.
यस सर।
Okay. Every length of the each interval, subsequent interval is h. Okay.
ओके सर।
Now, as n increases consecutively, length of the each interval h tending to zero. So when your n increases, that means if your n increases, that means your interval increases. That means your length of the interval must be increases. Okay, that decreases if your length is increases. That means if this is uh, uh, 0 to 1, and if you divided this interval in a 3 sub interval, then length must be bigger. as compared to if length, if you divide that subinterval in a 5 subinterval. Okay, understand? When your n increases, then h decreases. Okay, so you just understand that when your n increases to infinity, then your h must be tending to 0. Okay, so then if the limit h tending to 0, h into f of a plus rh, okay, exists, we say fx is integrable on the interval ab, and the value of the limit is called definite integral of fx on the interval ab, and we can denote this as limit h tending to 0, h into f of a plus rh equal to integral a to b fx here, where p is equals to a plus nh. Okay, so you can write n as b minus a by h. Okay, now some notes given. The sum h into sum of f of a plus rh in the above special case comes from the general definition by putting xi r equal to a plus rh and xr minus xr minus 1. That means interval of the length of the interval is h. Okay, so in the original definition, you know what is the definition? This is sum of f of xi r and xr minus xr minus 1. So this length is h and this xi r is your what? A plus rh. Okay, so now this is called integral a to b fx dx. Okay, now you can write this in place of limit n tending to 0 r equal to 1 to n f of xi r xr minus xr minus 1, because these two limits are same. Okay, as n tending to infinity, this is from r equal to 0 to n minus 1, and this is r equal to 1 to n. So both of these are same. You started from 0 and this is ending at n minus 1, and this is started from 1 and this is ending at 1. Okay, and if in infinite terms, okay, if one term is missing or adding, then there will be no difference. Okay, so just try to understand this example. So evaluate this integral 2 to 3 square root of x dx and divide this interval 2 to 3 into n number of subintervals. Okay, and first take 2, then 2t square, then 2t for n minus 1, then this is 3. Okay, and what is p? P is your 3 by 2 to the power half, and fx is your square root of x. So take the points xi1 as 2t, xi2 as 2t square, okay, and xin as 2 to the power n, and apply the formula 2 to 3 square root of x dx is limit n tending to 0
Hello,
infinity.
sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, t is equal to 3 by 2 to the power 1 by 2 कैसे आया वो?
T
T is equal to 3 by 2 to the power 1 by 2 कैसे आया?
Tn
Sir,
Tn
to
is
the
what? 2Tn is what? 3. 2Tn
3
is 3. Okay, and Tn is your
3 by 2.
3 by 2. Okay,
T is equal to 3 by 2 to the power n होगा sir.
and T equals to 3 by 2 to the power n. Oh, this
n.
is missing. Oh, yes, 3 by 2 to the power 1 by n. Yes, yes,
Yes, sir, 1 by n.
1 by n. This is missing n missing here.
Sir, 1
Okay,
by
just correct this one. Okay, so then apply the definition of the integration. This is f of xi r. So this is f of xi r is square root of xi r, and this is xr is 2pr and xr minus 1 is 2tr minus 1. So apply putting this the values of this xr, we get 2tr minus 2tr minus 1. Then after simplifying, you will get this one. Okay, so just simplify these all expressions. Okay, and this is limit n tending to infinity t minus 1, and this sum of t to the power 3 by r by 2 minus 1. Okay, and expand this one. Okay, and this is just a series, and you as n tending to 0, you can get the sum of this expression. Okay, so just simplify this series. Okay, you will easily see this one. Finally, you will get the answer. Okay, and you can just uh, simplify, or you can just check whether your answer is correct or not by simply find the integration of this one. What is the integration of square root of x? X to the power 1 by 2. So x to the power 1 by 2 plus 1, and then divided by 1 by 2 plus 1, and then take integration the limit from 2 to 3.
2 by 3 into x
Okay,
to the
that
power 3 by
means x to the power 3 by 2 divided by 3 by 2, and just put the limit. Okay, then check whether this limit is same or not. Okay, so you can just easily check that your integration is correct or not. Okay, so because you know how to find the integration of 2 to 3 square root of x dx.
চেক করে দেখবো নাকি?
Okay,
আচ্ছা, বলছি ওটাকে আপনি নরমাল ভাবে ইন্টিগ্রেট
yes,
করে
yes,
মানে ইন্টিগ্রাল করে চেক করে দেখবো এটাকে।
to
2 to 3,
know that your answer is
2 to
correct.
3.
Okay, so just check this one that your answer is correct
sir.
or not. Okay, so then come to the integrable function, some properties of integrable function. Okay, there are many functions, okay, which are integrable, and some of them are the theorem. Only look at the statement. Okay, proof of these are not your in your course. So a function which is continuous in a closed interval ab is integrable on the interval. Okay, if you have given a function which is continuous in a closed interval, okay, that means every continuous function in a closed interval is always integrable. Okay, on that interval. Okay, and a function which is discontinuous at finite number of points in the interval is integrable on the interval. What do you mean about this theorem? A function which is discontinuous at finite number of points in this interval is also integrable. Okay, first theorem says if a function is continuous, then this is always integrable in a closed interval. Okay, and second theorem tells us that if a function is discontinuous, then also integrable, but discontinuity must be in a finite number of points. Understand?
Yes, sir.
For example, you see here fx equal to 1 by x minus 1. Is this function continuous? Always?
no
This
sir,
function
discontinuous at
This
0.
function is continuous at x equal to 1.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Sir, yes, sir. Yes,
this
sir.
function is discontinuous at x equal to 1, but
One,
this
yes.
function is integrable. Okay, because this discontinuity is only at point x equal to 1. Okay, so this you can directly say that this function is integrable. Okay, this function is integrable, and you can easily find the integration of this function also. Okay, so that means you can easily say that if your function has discontinuity at a finite number of points, then that function is always integrable on that interval. Okay, now theorem says if a function is monotonic and bounded in the interval, okay, then also integrable in that interval. Okay, so from these three theorems, you can easily say about a function that this function is integrable or not. Okay,
सर थर्ड थ्योरम एग्जांपल बता दीजिए ना एग्जांपल के साथ
third theorem is monotonic
फंक्शन
monotonic and
क्या होता है
bounded. Any monotonic function is either increasing function or decreasing function. Increasing function, you know what is increasing
Okay, sir.
function and decreasing function? So either
इनका मतलब
increasing
कि
or decreasing. Monotonic means either increasing or decreasing. Both are called monotonic function. Okay, any monotonic function is and bounded on that interval is always integrable on that interval. Give an example of a monotonic function
X
or
cube, sir.
increasing function. In which interval? You have to set the interval also.
Sir, 0 to infinite, sir, it's increasing, and from 0 to minus infinity is decreasing.
Yes. So set any example which is monotonic on that monotonic and bounded also. Okay, infinity is not included here because if you take infinity, then this function is not bounded. Okay, you have to choose a function which is bounded. So simply choose the interval bounded. Okay, bounded interval in any bounded finite bounded interval. If a to b 0 to 1 in
Sir,
0 to 1,
sine of
okay, you can sin x is increasing in which interval?
0 to
0 to pi by 2.
0 to pi by 2.
Okay, so in 0 to pi by 2, sin x is monotonic and also bounded. Sin x
yes,
is
sir.
always bounded. So for monotonicity, just restrict the interval. Okay. Similarly, you can say about cos x. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you can easily find out the examples. So from these three theorems, you can easily say that a function is integrable in this if the function satisfies following properties. Okay. Now some property of integral function. If a function fx is integrable on the interval ab and if t is a point in between a and b, then fx is also integrable in a to t and t to b. You know, that means if a function is integral a to b fx dx, then you can divide this by integral a to t fx dx plus integral t to b fx dx. These both are same. You know,
yes, sir.
sir this is the property
okay?
of
Property of integration.
different
You
integral.
can always divide this always also a to t on to t to then t to t3 in such a way. Okay, these are same.
Yes, sir. T must be
So,
between A and B.
okay, yes, t is between a and b always. Okay, so if fx and another property is if fx and gx are two integrable functions on ab and k be a constant, then form of integral function is also integrable. Okay, these are the basic properties of integral function. Okay, and if you multiply it by a constant k to the function fx, then this also integrable and k will be outside, and product of two integrable function is also integrable. Okay, integral of a to b fx dx equals to this one. Okay, this is the product formula for integration. If mod of fx is integrable on ab, then this is the property. Integral a to b mod of fx dx less than equal to integral a to b mod of fx dx. This is the property of modulus of integral function. Okay, so just remember these properties of the integral function. So you can also prove these examples
सर दो फंक्शन के प्रोडक्ट का इंटीग्रेशन वो बता दिए ना।
Sorry.
दो फंक्शन के प्रोडक्ट का इंटीग्रेशन कैसे आया?
Yes.
सर ये बाई पार्ट
This
मेथड है
one,
क्या?
by parts method. Okay, simply use the by parts
अच्छा
method and
सर
just
सिंपल वही
use the
बाई
limit.
पार्ट वाला ही या दूसरा
हाँ
रूल
सर।
है?
Sorry.
सर ये
Yes.
बाई पार्ट वाला ही रूल है ना?
हाँ, बाय पार्ट ही है, बाय पार्ट ही
हाँ
होता है
सर
ना
वो है ना।
प्रोडक्ट का इंटीग्रेशन है, बस इसमें इंटीग्रल का वो लिमिट दिया हुआ है।
यस सर, इलेट के अकॉर्डिंग फर्स्ट और सेकंड कंसीडर करते हैं ना।
यस यस,
पहले लेते हैं इनवर्स को, फिर
every
लॉगरिथम।
rule is same, just this is the property that if f x dx is integral, then the product is integral. Okay,
ओके सर।
ओके सर।
and this is the by parts method. Okay, and if mod of fx is integrable, then this is the property for modulus. Okay, this is not equal. Okay, this is less than equal to integral a to b mod of fx. Okay, outside mod will be inside. Then you can prove this also. Okay, so let us take an arbitrary division of the interval AB. Okay, divide the interval AB in this manner and take it IR in the interval this one, and to show that fx plus gx integrable, just take limit and then into infinity, and f of IR plus minus or minus x r minus 1, or just simply distribute this to. Okay, then this is the property of integral. This is the definition of integral of fx. Okay, and this is the definition of integral of gx. So you can easily say that integral a to b fx plus minus gx dx equals to integral a to b fx dx, and then integral to b. Okay, by using the definition of integration. Okay, similarly you can prove the product with respect multiplication by a constant. Okay, so now this is the example of product function x
Yes,
square
sir.
and log x, both are integrable in 2 to 7. Okay, so their product is also integrable, and you can find easily the integration of the product. Okay, so log x and into x square dx, then you can integrate this one. Okay, so take first log x, then integrate x square. Okay, you can easily find out the integral of this function. Okay,
यस सर,
so
बाई पार्ट मेथड।
yes, by part method. Do you know what is fundamental theorem of integral calculus?
नो सर।
So, what is the relation between integration and derivative? Is there
सर
any relation?
इंटीग्रेशन द इनवर्स प्रोसेस ऑफ डेरिवेटिव।
And that is true only for a continuous function. Okay, so if fx is continuous function, this is the fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Okay, fx is a continuous function in a closed interval ab, and fx, capital Fx, is another function such that derivative of capital Fx is small fx, then integral a to b fx dx equal to fb minus fa. What is the meaning of this one? If derivative of fx, capital Fx is small fx, then this says that definite integral of this function fx is basically difference of this function at the point b and at the point a. This is the meaning. Okay, that means if you have a capital Fx as x square, okay, then what is the derivative of that function? If fx is capital Fx is x square, then derivative is 2x.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Then
Yes.
if you integrate 2x from a to b, then what is the integration of 2x? 2x is x square.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that means this property hold. Okay, and then you have x square from a to b. That means f of b, that means b square minus a square, integral a to b x square dx, 2x dx is what? X b square minus a square. Is
Yes,
true?
sir. Here you.
Yes. So that means if your function fx is continuous, okay, and this capital Fx be another function, thus the derivative of this capital function is small fx, okay, the integration of this function, that means integration is definite integration of this function in this interval ab, is basically difference between the function at point b and at point a. This is the property. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then come to the next one. Then if capital Fx is integral fx dx, then these both are same. Okay. Now understand some one important property. Limit of sum represented by definite integral. Okay. Now the definition of definite integral as limit of sum. Okay. Evaluated as the limiting value. As of now, we have divided the interval and solved in the reverse way, but now we have given a sum. Okay, given a sum. From the sum we are try to find the integration. Okay, like this. Okay, a limit s tending to 0, f of rs equal to integral 0 to 1 f of x dx. Okay, and that means when you have given r of h, r into h, then rh is replaced by x. Okay, if a function or if a series is given by f of rs type, then this f of rh is written as f of x. Okay, and this limiting value is from 0 to 1. Okay, so now, and if this is limit from r equal to 1 to kn, then limit is from 0 to k, and this is written as fx dx. So see on example, you have given that limit n tending to infinity 1 by n plus 1, 1 by n plus 2, then up to 1 by n plus 1 by 4n. Okay, so you have to find integration of this sequence. Okay, so how will you find? Just
हेलो सर
yes, what
वो
happened?
सर आर एच की जगह हेलो
Yes, yes.
सर वो आर एच की जगह एफ ऑफ एक्स क्यों लिख रहे हैं सर
This is the
एफ ऑफ
definition of the limit of some function. Okay,
ओके
if you
ओके
have
सर
given a series, okay, or if you have given a sequence, then in the previous one we have seen that if you have given a function, then you just apply the reverse process. Okay, find the integration as a sum. Now you have given a sum. Okay, then you try to find the integration by integral of fx dx. Okay, so just try to form this sequence like a function of f of r. Okay,
ओके
who is talking? Stop talking.
हमार
Okay, see for example this one. Okay, you have given that limit n tending to infinity, then 1 by n plus 1, 1 by n plus 2, then up to 1 by 4n. This is your given sequence. Now, or this is a sum. Okay, now you have to find, you cannot say what is the sum of this sequence. Okay, so to see
স্যার
what will be the
পরেরটা কি
sum,
করে এলো
this is a
পরেরটা কি
sequence.
করে এলো
Okay, this is a sequence. You have given any arbitrary question. Okay, This is 1 by n plus 1, this is 1 by n plus 2, 1 by n plus 3, then last term is 1 by 4n. You have given a one
Okay.
sequence, okay? So now we have to arrange this sequence, look like this, like this, f of rh type, okay? So how will you write this one? N tending to infinity, then 1 by n plus 1, 1 by n plus 2, then you can write this 1 by 4n as 1 by n plus 3n, okay? So
Yes, sir.
means you can write this sequence as this look like this. This is sum of n tending to infinity, sum of 1 by n plus r, and r ranging from 1 to 3n. So this sum or this and this both are same. Is
Yes,
this
sir.
same? If just put r equal to 1, then the first term 1 by n plus 1. Okay, then if r is 1 to 2, then 1 by n plus 1, then second term is 1 by n plus 2, and when you put last one r equal to 3, and then your last term will gives you, okay? So this is your 1 by n
Yes,
plus
sir. Okay.
r, okay? So just write this sequence as a summation form, okay? So now your n tending to infinity, and you have to make this sequence look like this, okay? So for this we have put n equal to 1 by h, okay? Just put n equal to 1 by h. So when you put n equal to 1 by h, then what will be your n tending to infinity? So as n tending to infinity, then 1 by h tending to what? H tending to 0. Since n
Yes, sir.
tending to infinity, then h tending to 0. So then your summation is what? H tending to 0 and r equal to 1 to 3n, and this one is what? 1 by 1 plus h plus r, and you can just simplify this, and after simplification you will get limit h tending to 0, h is outside here, 1 plus rh, 1 by 1 plus rh, okay, and limit is from r equal to 1 to 3n. So see the similarity between this sum and this is what? This is a function of f of rh, this is a function of rh, okay? So you can write now this as a integral 0 to 3, because when your last term is 3k kn, then your what is the limit? Limit is 0 to k. So here r equal to 1 to 3n. So your limit will be 0 to 3, and your f of function is f of rh. So in place of rh, just write x. Understand? So your this sum can be written in the integral form as integral 0 to 3 1 by 1 plus x dx. So now find the integration of this one. So this one is integration of this is log 1 plus x, and integral from 0 to 3, and this gives you log 4. That means sum of this sequence is 1 by 4. Okay, understand this example? Do you understand?
Okay. Hi. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so just try to sum up this sequence in the form of rh, okay? Then just put in place of rh x, then integrate, you will get the answer, okay?
লক 4 মানটা দেখতে পাচ্ছি না লক 4 এর
Sorry,
মানটা দেখতে পাচ্ছি না, এটা
log 4,
লক 4 এর মানটা দেখতে পাচ্ছি সেই ইকুয়াল
log
টু কত
4, what is log 4? This is log 1 equal to 0. This when you put x equal to 3, then this will give you log 4 minus log 1, okay? So and log 1 is 0, so this one is exactly log 4, okay? This is log 1. Log 1 is 0, so your integral is only log
ইয়েস
4.
স্যার
Since log 1, this is called since log 1 is 1, so your answer will be log 4, okay? So now try to understand some basic examples of definite integral. So if you have given integral a to b f of gx g dash x dx, then how will you find this integral? That if you have given a function, okay, f of gx, okay, and outside derivative of that function, then how will you find the integration, this type of integration? Just simply put gx equal to some function. After, this is the method of substitution of integration. You know how to find the substitution integral
Yes,
by
sir.
substituting. Okay, just simply put some function, this function as z or any as you like, z equal to gx, then dz is g dash x dx, and then this integral is a to b, this one. Okay, this is the substitution method. This is the example. Okay, so this is 3x square and this is square root of x cube plus 1. Outside function is just a derivative of this function, inside function. So putting x cube plus 1 equal to z, you will get this one. Okay, this is the just a substitution method. You all of you know, I think. Okay, so then some properties of some definite integral. Okay, you know, if integral a to b fx dx equal to integral a to b fz dz, is there any difference?
No, sir.
Okay,
If we change the limit, the
if you
function will
this is not the
multiply
limit,
by minus.
limit is same, just you have just changed the variable. What is the difference? No difference. If you integral
No
this
difference,
one
sir.
from if you integrate t cube dt, or if you integrate x cube dx, no difference, because integral is ultimately your gives you the finite value. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
integral a to b fx dx and integral a to b fz dz are both are same. And if you reverse the integral, then what will you get?
The sign is
Function
A to
will
b
opposite.
multiply
dx
by
is
minus.
minus integral b to a fx dx. These are the properties. Now another properties is integral 0 to a fx dx can be written as integral 0 to a f of a minus x dx. You know.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Another property is integral a to b fx dx can be written as f of a plus b minus x dx. Integral a to b. This is also true. Okay. Now integral 0 to a fx dx also can be written as integral 0 to a by 2 fx dx plus integral 0 to a by 2 f of a minus x dx. Okay, these are the just properties of integration. Okay, just try to remember all these properties. And another property is integral 0 to na fx dx is equal to n into integral 0 to a fx dx if f of a plus x equal to fx. You know this property. If f of a plus x equal to fx, okay, then this property always true. If you have integral 0 to na fx dx, then n is outside, okay, from the limit, and this is always true if f of a plus x is fx. Okay, this type
Sir,
of
here
property hold. Yes, tell me.
here n is constant.
N is any constant. Okay,
Okay, sir.
n is any number. Okay, so in case if f of a plus x is fx, okay, then this is always true. You can check this by giving any example of sin x or cos x function. Okay, sin x is always in case of sin x, what is sin pi plus x, sin pi by sin 2 pi plus x.
Sin x.
Okay, uh, and in the example also minus a to a fx dx is what? If minus a to a fx dx equal to integral 0 to a fx plus f of minus x dx, and this will be 0. In which case?
Sir,
You know
it's
this
odd
property?
function. Odd
Yes.
function.
If fx is odd
function.
function, then f of minus x is minus of fx. So this will be gives you 0. So this is 0 when fx is odd function, and this is 2 times integral 0 to fx dx when fx is even function. So this is the property. So minus a to a fx dx is 2 times integral 0 to a fx dx when fx is your even function. Okay, and this is 0 when fx is your odd function. Okay, so these are
Yes,
the
sir.
proofs of these properties. Okay, just see, you can easily understand the properties. Okay, so for the first property, you have given that integral a to b fx dx equal to integral a to b fz dz. Okay, so from the fundamental theorem of integral calculus, you know that integral of fx dx equal to fx, and if derivative of this is fx, then you know that integral of a to b fx dx equal to fb minus fa. Okay, and if you change z by x by z, then also this is fb minus fa. So fb minus fa and fb minus fa both are constant, both are same. So this integral a to b fx dx and integral a to b fz dz both are same. Okay, you can easily prove this using the fundamental theorem. Okay, so just see the proofs. Okay, you can easily understand all these proofs. Okay, so let's come to examples, some examples. I will give you more examples. Okay, for homework, and some examples I will try to solve. Okay, these are the examples for satisfying the properties. Okay, this is integral 2 to 6 sin x square dx equal to 2 to 6 sin t square dt. This is the first property. Okay, can you find out the integration of this function?
So pi by 4.
Okay, I think you all of you know how to find this integration. Just take I equal to integral 0 to pi by 2, this one, and when you apply property, then you
सर
will get
0 to a
this one.
fx dx का प्रॉपर्टी लगेगा यहाँ पर.
Integral 0 to a
Sir, in
f of
place of pi by 2, we should write pi by 2 minus x.
just pi by 2 minus
In
x.
place of x.
Okay, in place of x, write pi by 2 minus x. Okay, then you will get this one. Okay, and this one are the, and this one both are same. Okay,
दोनों
so
को ऐड
when
करेंगे.
both are same, then you add this, then what will you get?
Yes, sir. 1.
Sin x plus cos x, and this is sin x plus cos x. Then that means this will give you 1,
1.
1, and that means
X.
2I equal to integral 0 to pi by 2 dx. Okay, and
Yes.
integration is what? Pi by 2, and 2I equal to pi by 2, then I equal to pi by 4. That means your
Pi by
integration
5 by
of this function is pi by 4. Similarly, you can apply some property here. Integral pi by 6 to pi by 3 dx by 1 plus square root of 10x, and apply here f of a plus b minus x
স্যার
property.
স্যার 3 নম্বর অঙ্কটা আরেকবার বলুন স্যার sin pi by 2 minus x কি করে হচ্ছে প্রথম লাইনটা 3 নম্বর
Apply the
অঙ্কটা
property of the integration f of a minus x integral a to b fx equal to integral a to b f of a minus x. Just use the property. Okay, this one
0 to a fx dx.
integral 0 to a
আচ্ছা স্যার
f of a minus x. Where is this one? Integral 0 to a fx dx is integral 0 to a f of a minus x. Okay,
ইয়েস স্যার ইয়েস ওকে স্যার ওকে
just
Thanks,
apply
sir.
the property. Okay, then This one is also okay. You can also solve this one. Okay, you have just applied the property and try to find the answer also. Okay, in this case you have just apply the property of f of a plus b minus x, and you will get this one. Okay, and just try to find and what will be this one. This one can be written as square root of quat x means what? Quat x means 1 by tan x. So this will gives you 1 plus square root of tan x, and in the numerator you have square root of tan x. Then when you will add both of these, this will also gives you 1. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just simplify and find out what is the answer. Okay. I think in this case pi by 3 minus pi by 6 and then divided by 2. Okay, so I think in this case answer will be pi by 12. Okay, just try to find out the answer. And in this case, what is the integration of this one? Integral 0 to 4 x by 1 plus x square. And which property is this?
Sir, 0 to a fx.
0 to
dx.
a by 2. This property is 0 to a by 2. Integral 0 to a fx dx equals to integral of a by 2. Okay, this is 4 and this is 2. That means 4 by 2 plus integral a by 2 f of a minus x dx. Okay, see, all the properties are satisfied and examples are given in this case. Okay, and this is what? Integral 0 to 14 pi sin x dx, and this can be written as integral 7 into 2 pi sin x, and sine of 2 pi plus x is sin x. That means f of a plus x is f of x. So you can write this one as 7 into integral 0 to 2 pi sin x dx. Okay, this is the beauty of periodic function. Okay, what is periodic function?
Sir, sin x and cos x.
Only sin x and cos x. What is
So
the
the
definition
function,
of periodic function?
so the function that repeats its value after a fixed interval.
Okay, that means if you have given that fx is a function, then f of t plus x equal to f of t. Okay, then that function is called periodic of period t. Okay, so and t is the period. So in this case, sine 2 pi plus x is sine x, and sine x is periodic. And in this case, 7 into integral 0 to 2 pi sine x dx is same. Okay, and what is the meaning of this one? Can you tell me? Geometrically, can you tell me what is the geometrical meaning of this property? That if a function is periodic, then if you are try to find the integration, means ultimately you are try to find the area under the curve. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So when a function is periodic, then you just try to 7. Okay, and try to find the period area of this function from 0 to 2 pi.
Yes, sir.
Why? Why?
Sir,
Is there
as we know,
any
sir,
geometrically you can say anything?
sir, as we know that sir, sin x is periodic, sir. That's why, sir, if the area given by one function is area by the other function, we can just multiply to find the total area.
Yes, yes, exactly. Because you does not need to find the area for every interval. Okay,
Yes, sir.
because since your sin x is your periodic function or possessive periodic function, okay, then if you know the area of first interval, then that means if you change the interval, okay, from 0 to 14 pi, 0 to 28 pi, any multiple of 2 pi, since your period is 2 pi, so after 2 pi your area will be always repeated, okay. So in case of finding the area from 0 to 14 pi, okay, just try to find the area from 0 to 2 pi and multiply by that number as you wish, okay. If this one is in place of 14 pi, you will give 14 multiplied any multiple of 2 pi, okay, any multiple of 2 pi, then also this will be the multiple of that number, okay. Understand?
Sir.
Yes. Yes, tell me. Loud. So don't see this example. So this is the property of integral function, okay, and these are the properties, and I will give you some examples related to sum of integral function, okay. Next, do you have any doubt up to this one? So from today's lecture, the important thing is that which one is here? Okay, just a minute. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Limit of sum represented by definite integral. Okay, this one is very important. Okay. So if you have any doubt in this case, then you can ask. Okay, I will give you more examples related to this one. Okay. Limit of sum represented by definite integral. This one is very important. Okay. And related to this one, I will give you more examples, and then just try to see the properties of the integrals. Okay, these properties of this definite integral, just try to see these examples. And I think in your integral calculus book you will get more examples related to these properties, okay, satisfying these properties, okay. And I will try to give you some examples, okay, and just try to solve these examples, okay, because you all know and you have solved the integral using these properties in your 12th standard, okay. All of you know.
Yes, sir. Some of them.
Yes, sir.
If you have all
Yes,
of
sir.
you
Yes,
all
sir.
of you used these properties, okay. So I think there will
Yes,
be
sir.
no problem in this case. So just I think limit of sum represented by definite integral, this one is new for you, okay. Do you solve this earlier? Limit of sum
No, sir.
represented by definite integral, okay. This one is new thing, I think, okay. So I will give you more examples, okay.
Okay, sir.
So
Okay.
just try to understand this one, and then I will give you more examples, okay. So now I will introduce uh, improper integral, okay. So improper integral is when your function, okay. See, in the definite integral, you will try to find integral a to b fx dx, okay. But you know, when you will try to find the limit, when function has no exact value at a particular point, okay, then you will try to find the limit. Okay, limiting value means not exact value. If you will given that in find integral 0 to 1 by x dx, okay, then uh, 1 by x is limit of 1 by x is not exist at 0, okay. Or if you have given that integral 0 to 1 by x minus 1 dx, okay, then at x equal to 1 limit does not exist, okay. That type of function is called, and that type of integral is called improper integral, okay. That means when the given function is not valid or not defined at that point, okay, then that type of function, that type of integral is called improper integral, okay. So look at these examples, okay. uh, in the definite integral, you know, this is the definite integral a to b fx dx, okay, and this is called improper integral when this type of case happened, okay, either at a or b or in between that a and b, okay. Look at this point, integral 1 to infinity dx by x square. This is in discontinuous at which point?
0.
Okay, 0, and also at infinity. This is not defined. If you this is in minus infinity to infinity, 1 by x dx by 1 plus x square. These are infinite, okay, infinite. This is if a and b are finite value, then these are called finite improper, okay. And if a and b and or in between a and b there are any number which is infinite, then that type of integrals are infinite integrals, okay. Okay, in this case, see, 0 to 1, okay, in this example 0 to 1 dx by x into 1 minus x. See, in this case, this function is has singularity at x equal to 0 also and at x equal to 1 also, okay. That means this function is improper with respect to both the limit, okay, upper limit also and lower limit also, okay. But see, in this example, minus 1 to infinity dx by x square. So in between, at minus infinity and minus infinity, this is not improper. But in between there is 0, minus infinity to infinity, there is 0. In 0, this function is not improper. So there may be point which is a or b or in between a and b, okay. There may be in between a and b which are improper, okay. So now there are various types of, just see the integral definition of improper integral. Okay, in case the integrand f becomes infinite in the interval a to b, that is f has points of infinite discontinuity or singular points in the interval ab, or limit of the integration a and b or a or b or both become infinite, the symbols integral a to b fx dx is called an improper integral, okay. If this integral is either not defined or this limit of integration is infinite, okay, either plus infinity or minus infinity, then this type of integral is called improper integral, okay. So do you understand the definition? When this type of case happened, then that type of integral is called improper integral, okay. So there are several types of case, okay, either at A discontinuity or at B discontinuity, or in between A and B there is a discontinuity. Okay, now we'll discuss all these all these types of integral. Okay, first one, integration of unbounded function with finite limits of integration. Finite limit means A and B, integral A to B, limit of integration is A and B. When A and B are finite, then in that case what happened we'll first understand. Okay, integration of unbounded function with finite limits of integration. Okay, let a function f be defined in this interval everywhere except possibly at a finite number of points. Okay, so first assume that at A this infinite discontinuity happens, then how will find the integration? Okay, so if let A be the only point of discontinuity, so that according to the assumption made in the integral a plus lambda to b fx dx exists for every lambda such that this lambda less than b minus a, and this integral is defined as, so since at a equal to some point, okay, x equal to some point a, this function fx is not defined. So if you add some small number lambda to this a, then in that case you can solve that function. Okay, so for example, if you have given fx equal to 1 by x, okay, and integral is 0 to 1, then at x equal to 0 1 by x is not defined, but if you just add at some point uh, 0.01, okay, or 0.001, or any number which is not exactly 0 but nearer to 0, then you can find the integration easily.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and just take that lambda after finding the limit as tending to 0. Okay, so that integral a to b fx dx equals to integral of a plus lambda to b fx dx, and then finding the limit you just put the limit of that function, or limit of that lambda. Okay, so for example, if fx is 1 by x, then what is the integration of fx 1 by x?
Sir, log x.
Log x. Okay, and if log x, and just put the limit a plus lambda to b, then what is the value? Log b minus log a plus lambda. Okay, so log b minus log a plus lambda, that means your function is, when you take lambda tending to 0, then what is the value?
Sir, log b minus log a.
Log b minus log a. Okay, and if this limit exists and is finite, the proper integral a to b is said to exist or converge, okay, at a. If otherwise, it will be divergent. Okay, if this is not exist, okay, if this type of limit does not exist, then we say that this is divergent. Okay, so when this type of limit exists, okay, then we say that this integral is convergent, or this integral exists at that point a. Okay, so this property is always true. Integral a to b fx dx equal to integral a to c fx dx and c to b fx dx. This is a property of definite integral, you know. And now for b, okay, convergence at the right in b. Okay, if b be the only point, okay, in the first case we have a as the point of discontinuity, and we assume that in second case b as the point of discontinuity. Okay, in that case just try to find the limit as integral a to b fx dx, and then integral a to b minus mu. Okay, b minus mu and mu tending to 0, because we have to be inside the limit a to b. Okay, if you add this mu with b, then this limit will be outside the interval ab. Okay, see, when you your point of discontinuity is a, then you add lambda to be a. Okay, and when because your a is the lower limit. Okay, and if you subtract lambda, then your a minus lambda will be outside the interval. So that's why if your point of discontinuity is a, then in that case add a small number lambda and just take the limit. And if your point of discontinuity is b, then in that case subtract mu from b. Okay, and if the point of discontinuity is b, then this will be the integral. Understand why this one is minus and in the previous case this one is plus? Any doubt? So in that case you will write this one as integral a to b fx dx, and this is mu tending to 0 plus integral a to b minus mu fx dx. Okay, so now convergence at both the points. Okay, in the first two cases either a is the point of discontinuity or b, but in the third case both the points a and b are the point of discontinuity. Then what happened? Then if integral a to b fx dx can be written as integral a to c fx dx and c to b fx dx. Okay, now in that case you can apply first case for a and second case for b. Okay, so you can write this one as integral a to b fx dx, limit lambda tends to 0, mu tends to 0. This is a plus lambda and this is b minus mu fx dx. Okay, and the improper integral exists if the limit exists. If the limit of this function exists, then we say that this improper integral exists. Okay, this is the third case, and fourth one is neither a nor b is the point of discontinuity, but in between a and b there is a point which is a point of infinite discontinuity. That means if you can write this one as integral a to b fx dx and say that in between c and this c is the point of discontinuity. Okay, then for example, if minus 1 to 1 by x dx is the function, then neither at x equal to minus 1 nor x equal to 1 the point of discontinuity. X equal to 0 is the point of discontinuity, and 0 is in between minus 1 to 1. Then you can write that function as minus 1 to 0 and 0 to 1. Okay, so then you can apply the previous properties to find out the limit of this integral. Okay, there may be one or more than one point of discontinuity in the interval in between a and b. Okay, so for example, a to b fx dx can be written as a to c1, c1 to c2, or cm to b fx dx. So you can have more than one point of discontinuity. So then you can just write this function by dividing the interval with respect to the point of discontinuity. Okay, so do you understand the definitions? Okay, so these are the four type of point of discontinuity can happen, and this is the these all are for the finite uh, uh, finite point of limit. Okay, so just try to understand some examples. For example, integral 0 to 1 dx by x square. Okay, and in this case, what is the point of discontinuity?
That's 0.
0 is the
Zero.
point of discontinuity. So this is the first case. Okay, so how will you find the limit of this integral? For this, just try to find this one. Integral 0 to 1 dx by x square equals to limit lambda tending to 0 plus. Okay, and this is lambda to 0 plus lambda means lambda to 1 dx by x square. And then what is the limit of this function? Lambda tends to 0, and integration of this one is 1 by x square of integration of 1 by x square is what? Minus 1 by x, and then finding the limit, putting the limit, you will get 1 by lambda minus 1, and when lambda tending to 0, this will gives you what? Infinity. This is infinity. That means this improper integral is divergent. Okay, and just understand what is convergent and what is divergent. Okay, when the limiting value is finite number, then we say that the limit that this is convergent. Okay, and since this is infinite, so that this integral is not convergent, so this is divergent. Okay,
Divergent. Okay, sir.
so in the second example, what is the limiting point of discontinuity? In this case, 1 is the point of discontinuity.
1.
Okay, so now we'll apply the second case. So I will find the limit. In that case, limit of 0 to 1 dx by square root of 1 minus x, mu tends to 0, 0 to 1 minus mu dx by x, square root of 1 minus x. And what is the integration of square root of 1 by x? This one, minus 2 into square root of 1 minus x. And after putting the value of limit of the integral, you will get this one. And when mu tending to 0, what will gives you? This one, minus 2 is outside, and this gives you 2. Okay, so this improper integral exists and equal to 2. Similarly, see the third example, integral 0 to 2 dx by 2x minus x square. So what is the point of discontinuity in this case?
So 0 and 2 both.
0 and 2 both are the point of discontinuity. So now how will you solve this? Just try to apply the third definition. So for third example, just divide this interval to 0 to 1 and then 1 to 2 minus mu, and for lambda equal to 0, take lambda tending to 0 for this one, and for 2 take mu tend to 0 and find the integral. Okay, and in this case, this simplifying will get this as infinity. That means this integral is divergent. Okay, find it out in this example. So there are some examples given. Okay, just try to find the integral. Okay, what is the point of discontinuity in this case?
Sir 1.
1. And in this case, second case?
Sir 1. 1 होगा sir.
Okay, this is also 1. And in third example, this is minus 2 to 2, and this is dx by 1 minus x and then x square.
Sir 1.
What is the 1? And 0 is also inside this interval. 0 and 1. Okay, that means in between minus 2 to 2, there are, that means this is the fourth case. Okay, neither minus 2 nor 2, but 0 and 1 are the point of discontinuity. Okay, And in this case, what is the point of discontinuity?
Sir, 0 and pi.
0, pi.
That means both the points are in point of discontinuity. Okay. And for log x, integral 0 to 1.
Sir, 0 होगा.
1.
Yes.
Only 1.
0 is the point of discontinuity. How 1? Log 1 is 1. So defined. Okay.
So log
So
1
log
is
0
equal
is
to
not
0.
defined. Log 1
Yes,
is
sir.
0, so defined.
Yes, sir, define. Log 0 is
Okay,
not
but
defined.
at log 0 is not defined, so this one
Not
point of discontinuity is 0 only. Okay. And in third example,
Sir, B.
B
yes,
is
sir,
the
B.
point of discontinuity. Okay.
Yes, yes.
But try to find, you don't know what is B. B is any integer. Okay. If B is your negative integer, then what happened?
Sir, 2B हो जाएगा.
Hmm? If B is this function always improper?
तो फिर
No,
भी
sir.
0 ही होगा.
If n equal to 0, then what happened?
So
If
1.
n equal to 0, then what happened?
So 1 हो जाएगा. अब different.
Then this is 1. That means this is a definite, not
Yes,
improper.
sir.
But if n is minus 1, then when n is minus 1, then
तभी सर definite हो. ऊपर चला
Sir,
जाएगा
वो
वो.
different होगा.
then also this is definite,
Definite ऊपर
and
चला
this is
जाएगा.
not improper. That means there is no point of discontinuity. This is
Yes.
improper only when n is what? N is positive integer or n is
Yes.
natural number. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That
Natural
means
number.
when n is greater than 0, okay, not exactly in natural number, when n is greater than 0, okay, when n greater than 0, then only this function is improper. Okay, and point of discontinuity is B. Okay, so try to find all the cases. Okay, not directly solve this. Okay, first of all, case by case. First, see for n equal to 0, this one is constant. For n negative, okay, this one is in the numerator. Then also there is no point of discontinuity. Okay, so this will be improper, and point of discontinuity is B. Only n is positive. Okay, when n greater than 0, then the point of discontinuity is B. Okay. So these are some comparison tests to find the convergence. Okay, just statements. Okay, not the proofs in your course. Okay, just try to understand the statements. Okay, given that fx and gx be two positive functions such that fx less than equal to gx for all x in this interval, then this concludes that if integral a to b fx dx converges, if this integral a to b gx dx converges. What does that mean? Which is the bigger function or greater function? Gx?
Yes,
Gx
sir.
is fx less than equal to gx. That means gx is greater than fx. So this tells us that if a bigger function is convergent, okay, this, what does the meaning? Integral a to b fx dx converges if gx is converges. That means if your bigger function is convergent, then a smaller function always convergent. Okay, understand? What does that mean? You understand? Or what is the property
Yes,
of
sir.
this one? That means if you have given two function, okay, and this is called comparison test. Okay, you have to compare two functions. Okay, and according to the bigger function, property of the smaller function. Okay, and if your bigger function is convergent, then you can conclude that your smaller function is also convergent. Okay, and second conclusion says that if gx is diverges, then integral a to b fx dx divergent. That means if your smaller function is divergent, okay, smaller function is divergent, then your bigger function also divergent. Okay, this is the property. Okay,
Yes, sir.
then your second comparison test tells us this is the limit form of test. Okay, and if f and g are two positive functions in this interval such that limit of this fx by gx is L, where L is any non-zero finite number, then the two integral a to b fx gx converges and diverges together at a. What is the meaning of that? That converges and diverges together at a. That means whatever be the property of fx, that must be the property of gx. Okay, if ratio of these two function at x tending to a is L and L is non-zero, L is not zero. Okay, so in that case, if this integral exists, then this is convergent or divergent together. Okay, whatever be the property of fx, then the property of gx should be same. Okay, understand?
नो सर, यहाँ थोड़ा दिक्कत है.
Okay, let's try to understand. If fx and gx are two functions, okay, and their ratio is limit of their ratio at a is L, and L is a non-zero number, then you have to say what will be the property of f integral a to b fx and what will be the property of a to b gx. Okay, this tells us that if this integral is non-zero, then if this is convergent, then gx is also convergent. Okay, that means the property of this two integral are always same. If this one is convergent, then this one is also convergent. And if this one is divergent, then this one is also divergent. That means the property of these two integral are always same if this happened. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so clear? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay, sir. Okay.
okay. Now, this is a very important comparison of the integral. Okay, then this is a very important property. Okay, if integral a to b dx by x minus a to the power n, okay, then this is convergent if and only if n less than 1. Okay, if this type of integral given, okay, and a is the point of discontinuity. See here, a is the point of discontinuity. Okay, and this n greater than 0 also, and this is convergent only when n less than 1. Okay, that means if you have given any function, you can easily say that this integral is convergent or divergent. Okay, if this is convergent only when n less than 1, if in n less than 1, then you can say that this integral is convergent. Okay, if you have given that integral 0 to 1 to 2, okay, integral 1 to 2 dx by x minus 1 to the power 1 by 2. Okay, then you have to say this is convergent or divergent. Okay,
Convergent.
convergent. So you have to just see what is in the factor, okay, a or b, and what is n. If n is less than 1, then always this integral is convergent. Okay, so same property hold for b also. If this one is x minus b to the power n, then also we can say that this is convergent if n less than 1. Okay, this is also similar note. Similarly, this hold for if integral a to b dx by b minus x to the power n, then this is also convergent when n less than 1. Okay, so when you have a and b are the point of discontinuity, then this type of factor is convergent if n less than 1. Okay, now you have given some example, you have to just simplify or just try to understand these examples. At integral 0 to 1 dx by 1 plus x 1 minus x cube. Now you have to say this is convergent or divergent. Okay, so you have given fx as 1 by square root of 1 by 1 minus x cube. So what is the factor of 1 minus x cube? What is the factor of 1 minus x cube?
Sir, n minus b to the power into a.
Okay,
Sir,
1 minus x
so
into 1 plus x plus
AQ,
x square.
yes,
Okay,
sir, AQ minus b का formula होता है 1 a minus
yes,
b
yes.
Yes, sir.
a square plus
Okay,
ab
so
plus b square.
this is the 1 minus x into 1 plus x square.
Yes.
Okay, so now just separate 1 minus x and 1 plus x square. So this is 1 minus x to the power 1 by 2, and this is 1 plus x square 1 by 2. Okay, so now using the comparison test, okay, you can say that this function is bounded and 1 by 1 plus x square, okay, in the interval 0 to 1. This is always a bounded function. Okay, this function is always bounded, and we say that this fx is less than equal to this function. This fx is what? This fx is this whole function. Okay, and if we say that this
Yes, sir.
fx is less than equal to this, and this, if you say that this is less than equal to this one, m is a bound of this function, say that this function is bounded. Okay, because in this case 1 plus x square, if you put x equal to 0, then this is 1, and if you put x equal to 1, then this is also this is 3. Okay, root 3. That means this function is always bounded in this interval. Okay, so you can say that
Yes, sir.
this is boundary of this function. Just assume that this is m, capital M is the upper bound of this function. Okay, then you can write this fx as less than equal to m by this function. Okay, because multiplication of these two functions together gives you fx. Okay, and this is upper bound of this function, and upper bound means what? Less than equal to this one. Upper bound means if you have given fx and fx is bounded by capital M, then you say that fx is less than equal to m. That means either value of that function is capital M or less than. That means this is the upper bound. That is the definition of upper bound. Okay, so you can write this fx less than equal to m by 1 minus x to the power 1 by 2, this one. So you can say that this as a gx. Okay, you can say this one as a gx. So fx less than equal to gx. That means this is, you can compare two function. Okay, so if you know the property of this function, then you can say the property about the fx. Okay, what is the first comparison test? First comparison test tells us if fx less than equal to gx, okay, then if the bigger function is convergent, then smaller function is also convergent. And if the smaller function is divergent, then the bigger function is divergent. So now we have what is the bigger function? Bigger function is this one. Assume that m is a constant. Okay, so just assume that 1 by 1 minus x to the power 1 by 2, this is a bigger function. And if integral 0 to 1 dx by 1 minus x to the power 1 by 2, this is convergent because this is n is less than 1. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that means your bigger function is convergent. So from the first comparison test, you can say that your fx is convergent. And what is fx? Fx is your original function, this one. That means your integral 0 to 1 dx by square root of 1 minus x cube is convergent. Okay, understand? So for next example, integral 0 to pi by 2 sin x by x to the power p. Okay, for this one, if p less than equal to 1, this is proper
Sir?
integral. Yes.
Sir. So how is m
Yes,
by
yes.
1 minus x to the power 1 by 2 is bigger than fx?
Just try to understand. Okay, this one is what? Bounded. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So and assume that m is the upper bound of this function. Okay, m is the upper bound of this function. And definition of upper bound is if fx is a function. Okay, just try to understand this definition. Okay, fx is multiplication of these two functions. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and your upper bound of this function 1 by 1 plus x square to the power 1 by 2 is capital M. Okay, now if this upper bound is capital M, then we can write this one as less than equal to capital M. Okay, upper bound of this one is capital
Yes,
M,
sir.
so we can write this one as less than equal to capital M. Okay, and we know that fx is multiplication of this one, so this one is less than equal to and multiplied by this one. That means whole fx is multiplied less than equal to this one. Okay, any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this one is true.
सर तो इस केस में सर अपर बाउंड क्या होगा 1?
Not exactly, we have we don't know what is the upper bound. Okay, so we know that this function is bounded. Okay, we know that this function is bounded because this function is in a bounded interval 0 to 1.
तो सर इसमें अपर बाउंड
So
तो 1 होगा ना?
no, we don't know what is the upper bound. We have to find. We just assume if you 1, then you can also say that this is 1. Okay, because this is less than or equal to. Okay, equality also hold or less than also hold. Okay, that's why this is less than or equal to, not strictly less than. These two may be equal also. Okay, for certain value of m, these two may be equal also. That's why we are writing less than or equal to. Understand? Less than equal to means equal or greater. Okay, so equality possibility also hold. Okay, so we are just writing this one for the purpose of our comparison test. Okay, so fx less than equal to gx can be used for the comparison test. Okay, clear?
सर अभी भी सर अपर बाउंड फंक्शन क्लियर नहीं हो रहा.
So
What?
just try to understand. Okay, if fx upper bound means what is your upper bound? Your upper bound is head. Okay, if you are try to understand upper bound. Okay, And if someone says that something is in your above your head means what? Either your head or touching your head or above the head. Okay,
Yes, sir.
if you are and something if somebody says that your lower bound is your foot, okay, or below your foot, okay, then either touching your foot or below your foot, that means you are in between your head, above your head or below your foot. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
what is your, that means your greater, and
Boundary.
if something not touching your head and you're above your head, then that is greater your height. Okay, that means that is greater from your height. That is the case. Okay, and this function is bounded above. Okay, that means this capital, if this capital M is bounded upper bound of this function, okay, then we can write that is as less than equal to M. That means equality holds if M is equal to that. Okay, and greater holds, that means if this upper bound is greater than this function, then we say that this is upper bound. Understand now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's why we have written fx less than equal to M by 1 minus x to the power 1 by 2. Okay, so from the comparison test we know that if this function is convergent, then this function is also convergent. Okay, so we know that 1 by 1 minus x to the power n is convergent if n less than 1, and this n is 1 by 2, so this is convergent. Okay, so from first comparison test we know that this is also convergent. Okay, so clear? So
सर अब
तो
आज के लिए इतना है रिसर्च।
ठीक है, ठीक है,
Yes, sir. Enough for today.
ओके, ठीक है, फिर नेक्स्ट टाइम जो है ना आगे इससे जो नोट्स है इम्प्रॉपर इंटरवल का, ठीक है, वो तुम लोग को भेज देते हैं, तुम लोग भी देखते रहना। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट क्लास में फिर डिस्कस करेंगे तो ज्यादा समझ में आएगा। ठीक है, एक बार रीडिंग पढ़ लेना। ओके
ओके सर, ओके सर।
ठीक है, इम्प्रॉपर इंटीग्रल का और जो फाइनाइट तुम लोगों का जो वो था ना इनडेफिनेट इंटीग्रल जो था, इनडेफिनेट इंटीग्रल का तो पहले से पढ़ा हुआ है ना 12th लेवल का, तो
Yes, sir.
उसका थोड़ा बहुत एक्सरसाइज वगैरह प्रैक्टिस करते रहना। ठीक है,
Okay,
कि
sir.
वो इंटीग्रेशन वगैरह तो पता ही है, सेम चीज है, तो इसीलिए जो नया चीज है ना वो सब थोड़ा डिस्कस करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ यहाँ पे। ओके
ओके सर।
सो ठीक है, फिर आज यहीं पे रोक देते हैं। तुम लोगों को भेज देंगे पूरा, ये सब प्रूफ वगैरह मत देखना। ठीक है, सिर्फ स्टेटमेंट वगैरह देखना और उससे रिलेटेड जो एग्जाम्पल्स है वही देखना। प्रूफ देखने की जरूरत नहीं है, प्रूफ तुम लोगों का कोर्स में है नहीं।
एग्जाम में सिर्फ तो फिर ओनली सम्स आएंगे बस।
क्या हुआ?
Yes, sir. What type of question will
एग्जाम में
come in
सिर्फ
exam?
ओनली सम्स आएंगे।
Statement, you may be asked statement, or you may ask examples. Okay, to solve the examples using that properties. Okay, जो प्रॉपर्टीज होगा ना वो प्रॉपर्टी तुम लोग यूज करके फिर क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करो। क्वेश्चन आएगा ना, क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करना प्रॉपर, क्योंकि तुम लोग का थ्योरी वगैरह प्रूफ होता नहीं है, सब ऑनर्स लेवल की होता है। ठीक है, जो भी है स्टेटमेंट वगैरह है, स्टेटमेंट याद रखना और क्वेश्चन पे अप्लाई करना।
सर किताब जो है वो बीएससी वाला ठीक रहेगा जो फर्स्ट ईयर का है?
हाँ, वो पढ़ सकते हो, कोई बात नहीं है, उसमें क्वेश्चन वगैरह भी देख सकते हो। ठीक है, या फिर इंटीग्रल कैलकुलस का बुक कोई भी देख लो। ठीक है, इंजीनियरिंग मैथमेटिक्स का कोई वो एक पीके पाल और कोई दास नाम का एक बुक है, वो ये अच्छा है, अगर मिल जाए तो देख लेना, ठीक है।
यस सर, इंजीनियरिंग मैथमेटिक्स 1, यही ना?
हाँ, इंजीनियरिंग मैथमेटिक्स 1, हाँ 1 होगा वो, ठीक है। वो बीके दास का है बुक शायद, ठीक है, वो देखना, उसमें भी मिल जाएगा तुम लोग को, ठीक है। अगर कोई डाउट है तो बताओ।
पूरा
किसी को
समझ
कोई
नहीं आ
डाउट है
रहा,
क्या?
पूरा अच्छी तरीके से समझ में नहीं आ रहा सर।
आएगा, तुम लोग ट्राई करो, देखो, ठीक है। अभी थोड़ा बहुत समझ में आया कि नहीं?
सर
सारा जो
बताया
भी करा डेफिनेशन वगैरह तो कराया ना?
सर, डिफिनेशन समझ में आया सर, और सर बता रहे
क्या?
सर, वो डिफिनेशन वगैरह जो बता वो समझ में आ रहा था सर, प्रॉब्लम।
डेफिनेशन आ गया ना, अब उसको डेफिनेशन को देखो और क्वेश्चन में क्या हो रहा है उसको समझने की कोशिश करो, ठीक है। क्योंकि
यस
अगर
सर।
डेफिनेशन समझ गए तो फिर तुम क्वेश्चन समझ जाओगे अपने आप, ठीक है ना। क्योंकि उसी का एप्लीकेशन हो रहा है यहाँ पे, बस और कुछ नहीं है, ठीक
यस
है।
सर।
थोड़ा मतलब शांति से देखो, एक साथ बहुत कुछ हो रहा है ना, इसलिए लग रहा है कि पता नहीं, पिछला देखा तो अगला भूल गया, ठीक है। एक साथ जब बैठ के आराम से करोगे तो फिर हो जाएगा, ठीक है। उतना
यस।
भी टफ है नहीं कुछ।
यस सर, कोशिश करूँगा।
आराम से समझने की कोशिश करो, है हो जाएगा, ठीक है। और उतना ज्यादा प्रेशर मत लो, धीरे धीरे करो, सब हो जाएगा, ठीक है।
सर एग्जाम में सर किस टाइप का क्वेश्चन आएगा?
जैसा हो रहा है यहाँ पे उसी टाइप का आएगा, ठीक है।
सर
जैसा हो रहा है
एक
यहाँ पे
बुक
उसी
जो है
टाइप का
सर,
होगा। और क्या हुआ?
सर एक बुक जो है एक ही सेमेस्टर में काम करेगा क्या?
नहीं, ऐसा तो होता तो बहुत अच्छा होता, लेकिन सिलेबस ही ऐसा है कि एक बुक में सब कुछ मिलेगा नहीं है, ठीक है। इसीलिए हम लोग का भी तो दिक्कत हो रहा है ना, इधर उधर सब निकालना पड़ता है। सिलेबस ऐसा है कि 4 यूनिट है, 4 टाइप की चीजें है, तो सबको इधर उधर मतलब खिचड़ी बना रखा है, तो एक ही बुक में मिल नहीं रहा है, ठीक है। तो अब क्या कर सकते हैं बताओ। तो जहां से भी मिले देख लो, तो जितना
अच्छा,
हो
मतलब
रहा है
सर
यहाँ पे।
अलग अलग बुक लेना पड़ेगा मैथ्स का?
क्या?
कितना सेमेस्टर में सब अलग अलग बुक लेना पड़ेगा?
सर बीएस ग्रेवाल का बुक एक तो सब है।
यस, ग्रेवाल का भी हाँ अच्छा है, लेकिन एक इंजीनियरिंग मैथमेटिक्स का जो है ना तुम लोग का फर्स्ट ईयर फर्स्ट पार्ट का जो है, उस